Welcome back to Gaming with Pants, and I just went to the dentist. I had a bad toothus that needed to be fixed, and so I'm a little bit, and I'm laying in bed right now. But I have the story about, so they just like let us take our masks off here, yeah, where I live on the West Coast, and this is before. So it was in the morning. I went to the normal store I'd go to, the little gas station. Got my Rockstar, and there's I didn't need a Rockstar. I had one already, so I go in and there's a guy paying, and I was like, well, you know what? Since I'm here, I'll go ahead and buy a couple extra Rockstars. And I grab a couple extra Rockstars, and they had like this throwback flavor, and I'm like, yes, this throwback flavor, that's the one I miss. And so I go up and I pay, and I'm like super excited because of the throwback flavor. I'm not really I was there to actually just buy a pack of cigarettes. Yes, I'm a dirty smoker, and I was like, oh man, but I was like, oh, I was so excited about these cans of Rockstars that I was just like, oh, I get these flavors. So I get the flavors. Yeah, my face is swollen and it's puffy and anyway. So I get these Rockstars, and I get up and I get behind the other dude, and I get my Rockstars, and I forget to buy the one thing I'm there for is a pack of cigarettes. And so I'm leaving the parking lot, and you got to go up over this overpass and down over to what we call Fast Food Alley, because we're right off the freeway. And so I was like, oh man, I forgot cigarettes. Oh man, this is going to suck. And it's going to make this day suck. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go to this, to this other store over here. And, so I drive over to this other store. It's on the way. So I'm actually, instead of having to turn around and go back, I'm still on my way to work. And, so I go in, and they got these sandwich boards all out in front, mask required. And then they have signs on the doors and on the windows, mask required. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I got my mask, and so I pull into this little little parking spot, and right alongside of this little gas station building, there's this homeless dude, and he's loading all of his stuff up on his bike. Well, not a bicycle. So he's loading all of his stuff up on his bike, and he's talking to himself, and I'm just like, whatever. And I grab my mask and I go inside. Now this is where Twilight Zone happens. So now Twilight Zone, so I go in, right? And there's 3 cashiers. So I'm assuming 2 of them are supposed to be pumping gas. And I did notice on my way in that there's one logger truck style pickup there to get gas. But there's nobody out there. There's nobody with the truck. There's no gas attendant. In Oregon you have you can't pump your own gas, and it's stupid, but that's the laws here. So anyway, so I go in, and there's the guy that's buying gas. He's standing at the register, right? And there's the 3 cashiers all behind him. And they're all joking and laughing, and you can see they're just having a good morning. And then one of them sees me come in. I got my stupid little mask on. None of them are wearing masks. And I don't know if this has anything to do with masks, but this was it was a creepy fucking vibe that I got in here. So I walk in, and he's standing where I would buy my cigarettes, and they're all talking, but once one of them notices me, they all turn and look. Even the guy buying his gas, they all turn and look. Their expressions were happy, we're having a good time, and all of a sudden they just drop, right? But their voices don't change, so they're still happy, talky, boop, 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 but they're like, I'm so happy that I'm here. And it was just so bizarre, right? So I'm like, okay, well, he's paying for his gas. Maybe I'll see if they have some more throwback Rockstars, and I'll just grab some of those. While I'm here, like, let's do this. Like, let's just grab a couple more, like, while I'm waiting, I'll just go and grab. So there's this little deli at the end as you walk in, like straight across from the door where you walk in, there's like this little deli. And, it's just that little glass deli cover thing. And all they serve there, because I used to go there all the time when I lived at a different spot. And it's like the frozen breakfast stuff. Like, they would just heat that up and put it in this little deli case. I don't know what they serve during the day. I didn't ever go there during the day, but, in the morning on the way to work, I used to go there all the time. So anyway, this lady comes out, right? And as she's coming out, another guy is coming in, another, like, of these logger guys, and again, he's not wearing a mask. I don't care. Like, I don't care if you're wearing a mask. I don't care if you're not wearing a mask. All I'm doing is because, like, at the time, like, they were saying, like, you have to. And, like, the store had all these signs saying, like, you have to have this mask on to come in here. So I'm like, okay. So I got my fucking stupid mask on, right? And this dude comes in, and he sees the lady, and, like, he's like, oh, what do we got for breakfast today? And she starts, like, rambling off, like, what's already made and what she's making. It's like, it's almost like, like, she's, like, home cooking this food. And it's just like Jimmy Dean's sausage breakfast sandwiches that you're heating up in a microwave. But they're, like, talking about their kids. Like, they're all, like, they obviously all know each other. So I still have the 3 dudes, cashier guys, gas attendants and cashier, I guess, and the customer, and they're all still staring at me. So I go back, right? And so she comes out, she sees me, and she's all happy, right? And she's talking to this new guy that just came in about what's for breakfast. And oh my God, like, I got this made and I'm making this. And she sees me and she does the same thing, right? All of a sudden, just boom, facial expression, blank. But her voice never changes. Her voice is still just as happy, lucky, and she's talking to this dude, and she's staring at me. And as I'm walking back into the store, so you have to, like, walk in and then turn away from the deli to get back where the rock stars are. So I, like, turn, and I'm, like, looking at her, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, oh my God! I'm not gonna rob the fucking place. I just want some rock stars. Really, I'm just here for a pack of cigarettes. But, shit's fucking changed now. So I grabbed the rock stars, and she's staring at me, and she walks all the way down that little deli. Like I said, there's a little deli case. Well, as you get all the way to the end, there's, like, a pillar, like that post goes to ceiling to floor, right? And so she just walks all the way, and she, like, puts her face against that so she can look back into the store where I'm at, and she's just staring at me, but she's still talking to this dude that just came in, like, oh, they're best friends, and she's gonna fucking cook him the best fucking breakfast ever. Dude, it's 5:30 in the fucking morning. I don't care where you go for fucking breakfast, you're getting, like, the fucking Jimmy Dean shit fucking microwaved. That's what she's doing. When I could look at the case, it's all Jimmy Dean's fucking microwave bullshit. But it's like he's talking to her like she's gonna cook him a fucking 3-course breakfast fucking meal. And now he sees the fact that she's scooted all the way over to this fucking post, right? And she's staring at me. So he walks in, he's talking to her, he sees where she's looking, he turns, and again, he's got this happy, like, oh my God, boom. No expression. But their conversation never changes. Their tone of voice never changes. And now everybody's fucking staring at me. And I'm like, who the fuck is pumping people's gas out there? It's Oregon. You can't pump your own fucking gas. Bullshit, but you can't. And there's 3 cashiers standing here staring at me. There's this lady staring at me. There's this dude that's buying gas staring at me. Nobody's out there fucking doing his gas. This guy's coming in. He's talking about breakfast. He sees the breakfast lady. Oh, now he's going to stare at me. And it's just like, oh my God, what the fuck just happened? And it's mainly the way that their voices changed. Like, or their voices didn't change. Their appearance changed, but their voices never changed. And so I'm like, okay, like, whatever. Like, I'm just going to grab these 2 new rock stars that I didn't need. And now I'm going to get this pack of cigarettes that I do want. Right? And so the first guy, he leaves, like, that's paying. And so I go up, and nobody is not staring at me, right? And so I go up, I'm like, rock stars, and I'm like, and can I get a pack of cigarettes, And so I get my cigarettes, I get my rock stars, and everybody's still fucking staring at me. And like I said, there's just signs everywhere. You have to have a fucking mask. You have to have a mask to come in here. So I as soon as I pay for everything, I'm like, fuck this, dude. Like, I'm like out of here. So I just kind of truck it back to my car. Now that homeless guy that was standing at the end of the building when I got there, that was unloading everything, or no, he was loading everything on his bike. Now he's unloading everything, and he's still talking to himself, and I have no idea what he's saying. So I'm just like, okay, this is weird, this is creepy. I've seen, supernatural, or I'm gonna get attacked by some kind of fucking weird creepy monster here. So I get in my car, shut the door. I'm not so paranoid that I'm like, I gotta lock my door, but I'm like, I get in my car and I'm like, all right, and I start my car up, and then I look up, and one of the gas attendants is now standing in the auto doors, and he's just standing there, and he's just staring right at me, right at my car. And that was when I was like, okay, that's fucking creepy, man. That's super fucking creepy. I got to get the fuck out of here. So I, back up, try to stay calm, try to stay cool. Don't act like you're fucking freaked out by the fucking weird freakery fucking shit that is happening. And you're like, oh, but you are. So you're like, I got to get the fuck out of here. So you, and off to work. And I haven't been to that gas station since, but oh my God, that was, if a Twilight Zone was real, that was the weirdest experience that I've had in a very, 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 very long time. I'm sorry about this video. Like I said, I went to the dentist. I'm kind of cracked out on, well, I'm also a little bit drunk. But, that was what happened. Oh my God. It was super fucking weird. I'm sorry for the cussing. Not really, because this is actually how I talk. This is generally how I talk. Lots of fucks and shits. And lots of fucks and shits that I don't give. But anyway. So that happened. And oh my God, it was so bizarre. If you have a weirder story, go ahead and shoot a fucking video, man. Fucking let's get this fucking weird shit out. This shit happens all the fucking time. But this, it's a small town. And then later I find out oh yeah, well there was a guy that went there 2 weeks before you were there, and he refused to wear his mask, and the cops got called. I'm like, I wore my mask. Nobody else was wearing masks. Was it the mask thing? Was it this other dude thing? What the fuck happened in that gas station? Really, what the fuck happened in that gas station? Fuck it.